Hi, English learners. Today we're going to look at lesson 14 in book 5, okay? Wordly wise, book 5. So if you have the book, please turn to page 150, okay? So I'm going to say these words a couple times, and then we're going to talk about them and learn how to use them in sentences and stuff, okay? So the first word here is access. Access, okay? So this first C has like a K sound, okay? And the second C has an S sound. So it's access. Now, this word, you have to be careful because the verb and the noun have a different pronunciation, okay? So here, this is associate. The noun is associate. Okay? Associate. Good. Boisterous. Brilliant. Decade. Delicate. Employ. Idle. Illuminate. Provide. Require. Taunt. Tolerant. Okay, and two more. Transform and wilderness. Okay, great. Okay, now let's learn what these words mean and how to use them in a sentence. Okay, so the first word, access. Okay, so access means that you're allowed to enter something. Maybe at your school there's a teacher's room. Okay, and you can't access that room, okay? You're not supposed to go in there. If you go to the bank and you put your card in the machine, they'll say you need a password. And if you don't have the password, you will not get access to it, okay? You cannot get the money from that bank machine. Good, okay. Now, often when we have access, we'll say access to something, okay? So we'll say students have access to the field, the soccer field. Okay? Maybe they have to walk through the gate. Go through that gate to access the field. Okay? More like a verb being. Okay? So this can also be a verb. And you say access to the laboratory. Okay? So if you have here a place, you're going to put to. Okay? Now if you use it as a verb, you say access the laboratory. You can access the laboratory with a key. So you can access. You can access the field. Through the gate. Okay. Students don't have access. It's a noun. Students don't have access to the field. Students don't have access to the laboratory. Okay. So it means you can't enter it. Good. Now, access also has another noun meaning, okay? And it means more kind of like the approach to your house or the approach to the building, okay? So the car got stuck on the access to the mountain, okay? So here it's maybe a small dirt road going up the mountain, and the car got stuck, okay? So here it's kind of like the road that lets you enter a place, okay? So the driveway lets you enter a house, okay? Lets you access it. Sorry, happens sometimes. Okay, and then there's an adjective called accessible. Okay, accessible to something. Okay, so we'll say this lesson is accessible to like medium English level students. Okay, accessible to. We say the restaurant is accessible to people in wheelchairs, okay? Accessible to who, okay? Accessible to the students, accessible to people in wheelchairs, okay? Good. Now, be careful with your pronunciation, okay? This word here, associate. Associate is the verb, and the noun is associate, okay? Associate. Good. It means that there's a connection between people's minds and something else, okay? So Italy is associated with pizza and pasta. Okay? When people say the word Italy, oh, pizza. Oh, pasta, like this, okay? So this tells you that there's a connection with people's minds and Italy and pizza. Okay, the connection is between these two. So say China. China is associated with the Great Wall. Okay, so yeah, America. America is associated with baseball. Okay, when people think baseball or basketball, they think about America. Okay. Okay. Here, I associate Brazil with soccer. Now, this usage is a little bit different. Okay, so here I put the two things that are associated. Italy is associated. You can put a little thing in here. By who? Italy is associated by tourists with pizza and pasta. Okay, you don't need to put a person here. But if you want to put an active person in here, then you put it at the start of the sentence, and you need the with, the preposition with here. Okay, I associate Brazil with soccer. So here the two things are here. You can change this one too. I associate Italy with pizza and pasta. Okay, so you can also say I associate if you want to put an I or he or she here. Okay, and it'll come after Brazil with soccer. Good. Now the N, associate will mean some kind of co-worker or someone who works with somebody. Okay, so here, my father's associate. That is my father's associate. It means my father and that man work together. Okay, so associate. Okay, boisterous. Okay, boisterous is going to mean that people are loud and noisy, maybe celebrating, maybe happy, that kind of stuff. Okay, so loud. After their team won the soccer game, the Brazilians became quite boisterous. Woo, yeah! Like this, okay? Maybe singing the songs and dancing and stuff like that. So that's great, okay? See, I associate Brazil with soccer. Okay, the Brazil fans became boisterous, became loud. Good. Now, brilliant. Brilliant can mean shiny and sparkly. Very bright, that kind of thing. So we usually say like it's an adjective, so we have it with a noun. Brilliant diamond, brilliant shine, brilliant smile. So it just means like shiny and bright and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Now brilliant can also have a second meaning. Brilliant can also mean smart. Okay. So maybe you are a brilliant student. That is a brilliant boy. That girl is brilliant. He has a brilliant mind. Okay? His talent is brilliant. Okay? Good. So all of these. So here, shiny and bright. Here, smart. Like their brain is shiny and smart. Okay? Now decade means 10 years. 10 years. Okay? So here, he lived in Alaska for over a decade. So for over means more than a decade. So maybe this person, he lived in Alaska for 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, like this, okay? Over a decade. If it said he lived in Alaska for a decade, then it means he lived in Alaska for 10 years, exactly 10 years. Over a decade is going to be 11, 12 years, like that. Okay. Delicate. Delicate is something that's easily broken. Okay? Something delicate, if you're not careful, oh, I broke it. It's too delicate. Like this, okay? There's another word here. I put another word down. If I can find my new markers. It means kind of fragile. Okay, so if you already know the word fragile, you can use the word fragile too, okay? Delicate is kind of the same as fragile. Okay, so delicate bones. Maybe your grandmother has delicate bones. If she falls down, maybe she has to go to the hospital. If you fall down, maybe not. Maybe your bones are strong. So delicate bones. Delicate plates. When you're carrying the plates in the restaurant, and they broke. They might break very easily. Delicate emotions, we say, like she or he has delicate emotions. Here it means that very quickly, maybe become sad. Okay? Usually that's what it means when we say delicate emotions. Maybe someone broke up with their girlfriend. And so we say, oh, right now he has delicate emotions. Very quickly to be sad. Okay? Maybe cry. Now, here, this second meaning of delicate is a little bit different. The second meaning of delicate is that you have to be really, really careful about something. Okay? So, she needs to be quite delicate when telling her boss the bad news. Okay? So maybe she has to tell the boss, oh, we lost a lot of money. But she knows the boss is going to be angry. So she has to be quite delicate. Very delicate, okay? Because if she just is not careful, the boss will be super angry. And maybe she will have no job, okay? So she has to be delicate, okay? If you forget to bring your homework, you have to very delicately tell the teacher, teacher, I'm sorry, but tomorrow, I'll bring it tomorrow. It's at home on my desk, my homework. I forgot my homework. You have to tell them very delicately, okay? Then maybe the teacher won't be angry. Okay, so this is delicate, okay? Delicate. Also delicate has a third meaning, and it means like unhealthy. Okay, so delicate, he is in a delicate condition. It usually means that he's quite sick, maybe in the hospital, okay? Delicate boy, delicate health. These all could also mean that someone's unhealthy, okay? So, to repeat, delicate has three meanings, all adjectives, okay? Easily broken, you have to be careful. And here, this means unhealthy, okay? That boy is in a delicate condition. Here means unhealthy, okay? So, delicate, useful word. You need to learn these useful words, okay? Employ means give a job to somebody, okay? Samsung employs thousands of workers. So Samsung, they made my phone and my TV and a computer. They make lots of stuff, okay? So Samsung employs thousands of workers, okay? Thousands, 2,000, 3,000, maybe even 10,000, okay? So that means Samsung gives the workers a job, okay? Now, employ has a second meaning. It's also a verb. It means to use, okay? The doctor employed all of his skill to save the life of the delicate boy, okay? So this boy is sick, and the doctor has to use all of his skill. We often talk about employing skill, okay? You also say employing patience, employing talent, yeah, all this kind of stuff. It does mean use, but it's a pretty fancy word, okay? Now, usually this is used for like fixing a problem, okay? You can just say, I used the computer, but you didn't fix a problem, you just played games. This use is a little bit like employ is like using it to fix a problem, okay? Idle. Lazy people are idle, okay? So it means that they're not moving much. Watching TV, that's idle, okay? Yeah. If the boss comes back to work, maybe the boss goes and eats lunch and hey, not working, not working, not working, and they're angry. But the boss will be angry, and maybe the boss will say, "You people, why are you idle right now? I'm paying you to work." Angry boss, okay? So the boss doesn't like to see idle people. Now, who else can be very idle? Teenage people, teenage boys, teenage girls, okay? The teenage girl was idle all morning. Maybe wake up, go to the bathroom, go back to bed, wake up, eat breakfast, watch TV for half an hour, go back to bed. This is being idle, okay? Idle. Now, you can also have the verb, we idled away the time during our 4-hour picnic, okay? So here it means just kind of like not doing much. So here, lazy. Here, this is the verb, yeah, being lazy. We idled. See, it's in the verb spot. We is the subject, and there's the verb. Okay, now the last verb meaning for idle is that it's some machine, usually an engine, is on, but it's not working, okay? So the car idled while we cleaned the windows. Okay, so maybe on a cold day, you turn the car on because you want the car hot. But now the windows you can't see them, so you have to clean the windows. If the windows are icy, you have to scrape the ice off the windows, okay? And the car will be getting hotter and hotter. But the car's on. Okay? If your mom picks you up at school, maybe she's waiting in the car, and you run out of the school and you get in the car, but the car was idle, okay? It was running, okay? Good. Illuminate, the verb meaning of illuminate, okay? It means a little bit like, oh, well, first of all, the first meaning is supply light, okay? So we can say the car's headlights illuminated the road, okay? The fire illuminated the cave, okay? But, here, the newly installed lights illuminated the path in the park. Okay, so there's new lights. They newly installed the lights, maybe along the path in the park, okay? Yeah, so we can now see in the park, make the park a little bit safer. Now, the second meaning of illuminate is basically to learn something, okay? Yeah, so today's class illuminated English grammar for the students. I like English grammar. Okay, so the students learned from the class. Okay, the class kind of taught the students. So here we say illuminated. Today's class taught English grammar for the students. Yep, same meaning. Today's class illuminated English grammar for the students. The students learned English grammar. Okay? Yeah, illuminate. Loom. There's a few words in English as loom, L-U-M, okay? It usually means candle or light. Good. Provide, okay? So the provide here means to give something to people or supply something, okay? So we'll say on the airplane company will provide 3 meals on the airplane flight. Okay, so maybe you get on the airplane at 10 a.m. and they'll give you a quick breakfast and a lunch and a dinner, and then your airplane goes down. Okay, and you're in Australia. Wonderful. Okay, so it means kind of to give or to supply. The school provides textbooks to all the students. Okay, so I want you to say to. Okay, if you're going to say who, then you need to. Okay. You can just say, the school provides textbooks. Okay? That's it. The school provides textbooks, period. But if you want to say who's getting the textbooks, you have to have to there. Okay? Good. The school provides all the students textbooks. Now, in this case, we put the students first and the textbooks second. Okay? This is the direct object. The direct object is second here. In this sentence, you don't need the to. Okay, so textbook first, the direct object is first. To who? To the students. The school provides all the students textbooks. These sentences have the same meaning, okay? Because the object of provides, the direct object of provides, the textbooks, is last, we don't do the to. Okay? This is tricky English. The school provides all the students 2 textbooks. The school provides to all the students textbooks. Don't need it, okay? So, look at the difference in these two, okay? Try to understand. All the students is the indirect object, and textbooks is the direct object, okay? Good. Now, provide, a second meaning. The second meaning is more kind of like with a contract, with a legal contract. It means that it will have a rule that says something needs to be given. It's more kind of like a word a lawyer will use, okay? So the basketball player's contract provides him the use of a limousine, okay? So when the person signed, oh, I love this New York team, I will sign. But before I sign, I want a limousine, my house and back to the games, okay? I don't want to drive my car. like this. So the New York basketball team will say, okay, and they sign the contract. Okay. And then limousine. The basketball player's contract provides him the use of a limousine. Okay, so the basketball player gets the limousine. Next, require. Okay, requiring means you need something. That toy requires 2 AA batteries. Okay, maybe a small toy. Okay, and the noun for require is requirement. Okay, the ability to speak French is a requirement for this job. Okay, so if you don't speak French, you cannot get this job. Speak French, maybe you'll get this job. Right? So this is a requirement. Okay? It is a requirement of learning English to study vocabulary. I'm sorry. English vocabulary is difficult. So requirement means you need it. You need to study vocabulary to speak English well. Okay? So need, require. If you're cooking, you can say this cake recipe requires 2 eggs. 2 eggs, okay? It means it needs it. Good. Taunt.